They have requirements.
Okay, ready, man? Good evening, everyone. I'd like to call to order a Community Redevelopment Agency, special meeting, March 20th, 2019, approximately 6 p.m. Please join me for a moment of silence in the pledge. Pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. It's time to open up for citizens' comments. Hearing no citizens' comments, move on to agenda item 4, mid-reach construction access and staging consent.
Good evening. Tonight's agenda items recommended action is that the Satellite Beach Community Redevelopment Agency approve 2 agreements. One is a consent use agreement for the Mid-Reach Shore Protection Project, Beach Renourishment, and Mid-Reach Shore Protection Project, Construction, Access, and Staging. So these are 2 agreements that basically you'll be authorizing the county then to be able to start accessing those areas which are in the agenda that have been reviewed by our attorney, county attorney, for all the legalities. So when this project starts, they'll have the access to get to the beach and then to be able to stage the sand on certain properties. So that's, and basically the project will allow the restoration of sand and vegetation placement on the dune, to maintain the shoreline, to mitigate erosion, protecting properties, homes, and infrastructure. So that's what we're doing today.
Thank you. To our attorney, everything's good in the agreement with you?
I believe this was reviewed. This was reviewed by the city attorney, Mr. Beadle.
Okay.
I did look through it briefly, and I didn't see anything that concerned me, knowing that he substantively reviewed the press.
Great,
also,
thank you.
Council members Mike McGarry with the county's Natural Resources Department is here if you have any questions on the technical side of the project.
Thank you. Bring it to the board. Any questions?
I just got a question to Mike. Mike, what's the time frame on this? What are we kind of looking at as far as when it would go into place and all that sort of thing?
The current plan for the project is for the Army Corps of Engineers to bid the project in June.
Okay.
And start placing sand as early as November of 2019. And as part of the bid process, that we, the county, have to certify the land's availability, which is why we need to address this item.
Okay. Just to follow up, Mike, it starts in November 19, so when would it approximately end? Just a guesstimate.
We are hopeful the whole project will be completed between November of 19 and April 30th, 2020.
Okay.
But the work on any one spot wouldn't take that long. That would be for the whole 7.8 miles of shoreline.
That's an answer. That's fine.
Great, thank you.
So like our city itself would be about a month, right? Not even?
A month or, I haven't done the volume. I would say a month or a month and a half. I don't want to underestimate because I have not calculated the volume for your city precisely.
That's fine. Yeah, I just kind of want to ask a guess.
Why is it a 50-year agreement? That seems like pretty
Part of the Army Corps.
deep.
Because they have to maintain this project from now on. So if we get a storm or something like that, they have to come back in and replace sand and revegetate the dune. You could probably answer better than I.
Yeah, the federal government commits, they do their economic analysis for a 50-year timeline, and in exchange, we get their commitment that they'll help us maintain it for 50 years, but before they start a 50-year project, they want to make sure, that the authority is in place for at least 50 years. And in all the private easements for the properties along the shorelines, the private easements are all perpetual, but with a government agency that, we would like to think it would be easier to get an extension if 49 years from now we want to extend it another 20 years. But the Corps mandates the long-term agreements because they're committing to maintain the project for that long.
I have a question. I don't know if any of you know, so Indian Harbor Beach already approved this?
I don't know.
But it said something like modifications regarding the duration and repair requirements. I was just wondering what that meant, like, because were they also, do you know, were they also questioning the 50 years? Did they?
I don't know if they have any, do they? They only have 3 beach accesses over there. So.
Well, and they didn't execute a construction access, but they
Consent.
executed the consent of use for sand placement, and they executed it as is. Your attorney recommended we had a general, we'll leave it like we found it as soon as we're done, and your attorney recommended we put a timeline on that. So we said within, is it 60 or 90 days? So there'd be a hard line that we promised to tidy up.
Right. So this, I think, if I'm saying this is for access.
Yeah.
This is for access to the, and Harbor, I don't think has much ability to access because we have all the land that we own.
And the county has land right on the south end of Indian Harbor that we use at Canova Beach. So it's not only do they not have much available, but the county has some right abutting the city line.
Also, Mike, doesn't this assure the permitting agencies that those accesses will be in place? Because, for instance, you could actually sell some of these lands, down the line, and that access would not be available. So this ensures that they will always have that access to be able to get to the beach.
Yeah. So it was a longer process for us because we own so much of the properties, and I think you have 3 staging areas with us, or access areas, right?
With the
3,
CRA.
yes, 3 potential access areas, and we have used 2 of the 3 before, and I believe it's our intent to use 2 of the 3, but the one at Crotty Park and Shell Street conceptually would be one or the other. They're so close together from a construction, we don't need them both, but it's been suggested, perhaps they could be staggered, or the city can participate in the construction planning, so if one is more favorable than the other, we would work with you to select the most favorable site.
Because we had with Shell Street, when it's, it's a difficult street because of so many, there's commercial properties and residential properties right there. So it was hard on them during that last nourishment project. So we were trying to get another option, but,
I think that's important for us to work there because we had all the work there too.
Yeah.
And
then the county has to do a lot of repairs. They have to come in because we have a lot, infrastructure. So the county had to come in and do curbing repairs and stuff like that because, it's heavy trucks and.
I'd like to eliminate as
Yeah,
much
so we
from
tried to
that
eliminate,
particular
yeah.
site because of the amount of traffic and what's going on there at this time, or any time there really. It's a pretty popular place, so, great.
But that was, the 90 days was because of Shell Street last time, because, the owners in that area were like, when are you going to get it done, so.
Perfect. Do I have a motion?
Make a motion that Satellite Beach Community Redevelopment Agency approve the consent of use agreements for Mid-Reach Shore Project, Beach Renourishment, and Mid-Reach Shore Protection Project construction access and staging.
Thank you. I have a motion by Vice Chair Breimer.
Second.
Second by Member Rozicki. Further questions from the board? Hearing none.
Member Brzezicki,
Yes.
Vice Chair Breimer,
Yes.
and Chair Catino.
Yes, motion passes. Thank you. Looking forward to working with you on it. Thank you. Okay, moving on to, I think there's minutes. Adoption of minutes.
All right, I'll make a motion to adopt the February 6, 2019 regular meeting minutes.
I'll second that.
I have a motion by Vice Chair Breimer, second by Member Rozicki. Further discussion? Hearing none. Quinn?
Member Brzezicki.
Yes.
Vice Chair Breimer.
Yes.
And Chair Catino.
Yes. Thank you. Any further business before the board? Courtney, you have anything for us? Okay. This time, meeting's adjourned.
Thank you, Mike.
Mike, thanks, buddy.
Thank you.
It's a 2-minute meeting.